Having a good credit score is extremely important, especially right now when the economy isn't doing very well. It's gotten more expensive to borrow money from credit cards, banks, and other financial institutions, and it'll most likely continue increasing. So one of the best things you can do today is improve your credit score because it can help you get the best deals and lowest interest rates when borrowing money. This can save you a lot of money and make it easier to afford the things that you need or want, like a home for example. So today I'll be showing you guys everything you need to know about building credit, as well as 3 easy credit card hacks that anyone can do to increase their credit score. I've used these simple tricks to get my credit score to over a 790, so I hope they help you guys as well. All I ask is that you watch the entire video so you don't miss any important information, and if you find the video to be helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with others. So to begin with, your credit score is a 3-digit number that represents the likelihood of you paying back debt on time. It's used by banks, lenders, credit card companies, landlords, and others to determine how responsible you are with your money. The higher your credit score, the more banks and lenders will trust you with money and be willing to lend you money on better terms, which again can save you a ton of money. Now, your credit score is made up of 5 key factors: payment history, amounts owed, length of credit history, credit mix, and new credit. Understanding what each factor represents and how they impact your credit score is the key to continuously improving your score, so let's go over them. New credit makes up 10% of your score, and it represents any new credit accounts you've opened and all new hard inquiries. Now, there are 2 types of credit inquiries. A soft inquiry is a credit check that doesn't hurt your score, like checking your own credit score, and a hard inquiry is a credit check that hurts your score and is done by lenders to determine whether or not to approve you for credit cards, loans, etc. Hard inquiries stay on your credit report for 2 years, but they only really affect your score for 1 year. So after a year, it stops affecting your score, and after 2 years, it completely falls off your credit report. Ideally, the fewer hard inquiries you have, the better it'll be for your credit score, and you can do this by not opening a lot of new accounts. Credit mix makes up another 10% of your credit score, and it represents the different types of credit accounts you have, like credit cards, car loans, mortgages, etc. Having a good credit mix shows that you can manage different types of credit, which is something creditors like to see because it shows them you can handle debt. Now, there are 3 main types of credit accounts you can get: installment, revolving, and open credit. Installment credit has a fixed end date and you have to pay a certain amount every single month. For example, mortgages, car loans, and personal loans. Revolving credit doesn't have a set end date or balance. For example, credit cards, home equity lines of credit, and personal lines of credit. Finally, open credit requires you to pay your monthly balances in full. For example, charge cards and utility bills. Basically here, the more credit accounts you have in good standing, the better. Next up, we got length of credit history, which makes up 15% of your credit score, and it represents an average of how long you've had all your credit accounts opened for. The length of your credit history is broken into 3 parts: how long credit accounts have been open, how long specific accounts have been open, and how long it's been since the accounts have been used. Overall, the longer your credit history, the better, because it helps your credit score and makes lenders more comfortable with you since you have a long history of paying your bills on time. Anyways, here are 5 things you can do to improve your credit history. Avoid closing old credit cards. Keep your accounts active so the banks don't close them. If you don't use credit cards with annual fees, try downgrading them instead of closing them. Try to open accounts around the same time so they mature and the hard inquiries fall off around the same time. Only apply for credit cards with no annual fee, which are free to own, or annual fee credit cards with the option of downgrading. That way you're not stuck paying an annual fee on a credit card you don't use. And finally, as you open new credit accounts and use them responsibly, your credit history will improve over time, so enjoy the process. Next, we got amounts owed, also known as credit utilization, which makes up 30% of your credit score, and it represents how much credit you're using compared to your total available credit. The formula for credit utilization is credit used divided by total available credit. For example, if you have 2 credit cards with a total credit limit of 10K and you spend 5K, your credit utilization would be 50%, which is very high. To maintain a good credit score, it's important to keep your credit utilization low. That's why I always suggest keeping it under 30% or less for maximum results. You can do this by spending less on your credit cards, paying down your balances, or requesting credit limit increases on your current credit cards. Keep in mind that you have the most control over this factor because it's based on how much credit you're using at any given time. So if you can keep your utilization low, you'll see huge improvements in your credit score. Lastly, payment history makes up 35% of your credit score, and it shows how you've paid your accounts over time. It's the most important factor on your credit, and it has the biggest impact on it because it shows the likelihood of you paying back on time. The goal here is to have a long history of paying your bills on time so that you can achieve a 100% payment history or something close to that. All of this leads us to 3 credit card hacks that can quickly boost your credit score. 1. Paying on time. Paying your bills on time is one of the best ways to improve your payment history because it has the biggest impact on your credit score. So I suggest only using credit cards if you can afford to pay them back in full at any given time, because that'll help you avoid interest charges and dings on your credit score. If you can't pay off your full balance, make sure to at least make the minimum monthly payments so the credit card company doesn't report a late payment to the credit bureaus. Late payments can have a big impact on your credit score since payment history makes up 35% of your credit score. So it's in your best interest to always pay on time. You can always set up a calendar reminder or sign up for autopay to help you remember. However, if you have trouble making payments because you don't have enough money, try making a budget to cut back on unnecessary spending. I always suggest using a credit card like a debit card, where if you don't have or won't have enough money to pay for something, don't buy it, because carrying a balance and making late or no payments will negatively affect your credit score and you'll most likely end up in debt, which is not good. Remember, credit cards are amazing tools for building credit, earning rewards, traveling, and much more, but it's important to use them wisely. 2. Request a credit limit increase. Requesting a credit limit increase on your credit cards is one of the easiest ways to increase your credit score and one of my personal favorite ways. Most credit card issuers let you request a credit limit increase with only a soft pull, in other words, no harm to your credit score. The main benefit of getting a credit limit increase is that it lowers your credit utilization and helps increase your credit score as long as your spending stays the same. For example, if you only have one credit card with a total credit limit of $10K and you spend $4K, your utilization would be 40%. But if that card's credit limit were to increase to $20K while spending the same amount, your utilization would only be 20%. So by requesting a credit limit increase on your current credit cards, you can easily lower your credit utilization and see a very nice jump in your credit score. Lastly, remember your utilization should always be under 30%, but the lower the better. 3. Pay down your balances. Having big or multiple balances on credit cards can affect your credit score in a few different ways. That's because when you carry a balance month to month, it'll show up on your credit report that you owe that amount, which affects your credit utilization. You also run the risk of missing a credit card payment and getting charged interest on that balance, which can get very expensive. That's why I only use credit cards to buy things I can afford to pay back quickly. Now, for those who have a balance on more than one credit card, I suggest paying down the total balance on one card at a time. One way you can do this is by using the snowball method. To use this method, you start by paying off the credit card with the smallest balance first, and once you've paid that one off, you move on to the credit card with the next smallest balance, and so on until you've paid all the credit card balances off. This method is effective because it's easier and faster to pay off small balances than it is to pay off big balances. For example, it's easier to pay off $300 of credit card debt than it would be to pay off $3K. Another way you can tackle credit card debt is by focusing on the credit cards that charge the highest interest rate and paying those off first. Interest is the extra money you have to pay just for borrowing money. So if you pay off the credit cards with the highest interest rates first, it can then help you save money and prevent you from getting into more debt. So what you want to do is check your card's interest rates on your credit card statement, make a list of the credit cards with the highest interest rates, and begin paying them down. Your other options are making extra payments on your credit cards or consolidating debt. With this option, you can combine your high interest credit card balances into one account with a lower interest rate, which can then help you pay off your debt faster without increasing your payment amounts. You can do this by applying for credit cards like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which currently offers 0% interest for 15 months on balance transfers, which means you can transfer your balance to this credit card and pay off your debt without having to pay any interest for over a year. Keep in mind though, there's usually a fee for balance transfers, so you're gonna have to decide if the savings from the lower interest rate is greater than the transfer fee when considering this option. So there you have it, peeps. I hope these tips help you guys out as much as they've helped me. Please share your experiences and any other tips below so we can help each other out. And if you guys made it this far into the video, comment the word growth so I know who my real besties are. Also, if you guys are interested in signing up for great credit card offers or earning some extra cash back plus $30 with Rakuten, make sure to check out the links down in the description. It'll help my channel out like crazy. I love you guys. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to watch these other ones next. Okay, bye now.